Prioritization, priority. We must prioritize in life. This will not be the first time you are hearing such word. We must prioritize. Somebody said that the most important thing in life is to let the most important thing be the most important thing in every aspect of life. So the first thing the apostle did was prioritization. They said we cannot neglect the preaching of the gospel in favor of sharing food. So prioritization. You must set your priorities right. You are a married man, but you are jumping up and down all the whole states in Nigeria in the name of crusade. Tomorrow you are in Abakaliki doing crusade. Next tomorrow you are in Kano. You finish from Kano, you go to Maiduguri. From Maiduguri to Lagos and all of that. Sometimes you are not in your house for 2 months at a stretch. And you do this, you feel that you are doing the work of God. No. Your priority is your family. Because you're a married man. In fact, one of the problems with such people, we have them in the Catholic Church. We have them. One of the problems of such people who neglect their families in the name of doing God's work. Their problem is when you prioritize your gifts above your calling or your vocation. It's a big problem in Christianity today. People prioritize their gifts or their charism above their calling or their vocation. Marriage is a vocation. A vocation is a call. This is another word for it. Just like the priesthood or the religious life. And you must give your all to it. In fact, in Matthew chapter 19, marriage is so serious that when Jesus taught about the indissolubility of marriage, that one is not negotiable. If you remember, go to Matthew chapter 19. The apostles listened to him when he finished teaching without compromise. Then they said, if this is how marriage is serious, then it's better not to marry. That's what the apostles said. They said, it's better not to marry. And Jesus said to them, well, it's not everybody that can accept this. That some were born eunuchs, some were made eunuchs by men. Some were also made eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom. In other words, Jesus is saying it's not everybody that is called to married life. But anybody who is called to it must stick to it. So you can't prioritize your gift. That you have the gift of healing does not mean you will sacrifice your marriage going up and down everywhere to the negligence of marriage. You have lost your priority. You have the gift of preaching. You have now become the global preacher. If you don't go to Lagos and preach, people will go to hell. You know, we have them in the Catholic Church. They prioritize their gifts above their calling. Even among priests, my vocation is priesthood, is holistic. Then maybe I discover that I'm gifted with healing. What is the next thing? It's not crusades, up and down. There are some priests who have prioritized their gifts, their charism. Your charism is the gift that the Holy Spirit gives you. 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And this gift can be given to anybody. The fact that you have a charism does not mean you are called to ministry. In fact, it is said that the charism is given for the good of the community. The community you belong. It's not everybody that will have the charismatic gifts of the Holy Spirit, but every community will. Every community does. And God has been so generous. Every time Father is on the road, there are some that even leave their parishes on Sundays. You know, all that Father does is go to healing and all of that. Your people do not see you for counseling. They do not see you for other important issues of the marriage. You have lost your priority. You have prioritized your gift above your calling. It's a problem even in the Catholic Church today. You know, so you have a man who is married in the church and because the Holy Spirit dashed him the gift of speaking in tongues or the gift of preaching. He will attach minister to his name. He's no longer Mr. Ifani Okeke Okonkwo. He is now evangelist or prophet Ifani Okonkwo. Okonkwo is that's why I'm using his name. You know, you prioritize and you neglect your family. Then the second problem is commercialization. Many of them are now making a living out of the gifts, which is not supposed to be. So that's not how it was supposed to be in the early church. And this is what is responsible for proliferation of churches. A member of Christ's embassy speaks in tongues or discovers he or she has the gift of healing. What is the next thing? We open another church and then change the name. Maybe from Christ Embassy become Christ Envoy or Christ Chancery or Christ, even Christ Airport. This is the only place where miracles land and take off. Or this is where your prayers take off and come from heaven. It's a problem in Christianity. They've commercialized the gift of the Holy Spirit. It has become their means of livelihood. And that's why some don't play with it. They can never stay in their original church once they see themselves manifesting such gifts. That you have a gift, a charismatic gift of the Spirit, does not mean you are called into ministry. Ministry is much more than that. Vocation is much more than that. To watch full videos and get notifications for new ones, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you.
Sign up with the largest community of Catholics online. Make new friends, chat, post pictures and videos, make and receive audios and video calls, interact with lots of priests and religions. Download the app from Google Play Store.